Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Confidence Connection Show, where we share women's stories of confidence from all around the globe. This week, we have the beautiful Kimber coming to us live from the sunny Sunshine Coast in Australia. She is an SEO copywriter on a mission to connect entrepreneurs and business owners with their ideal clients online and help ambitious women rise. So welcome, Dom. So glad to have you on the show. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got to be where you are today?
Sure. Oh, well, that's a big story, but I guess in terms of professional stuff, I'm an ex-journalist, so words are kind of my jam. I've always loved how words connect people and sharing stories can create connection. So then I had my first little one, and unfortunately, journalist hours aren't very favorable for a new mom. Long hours, strange shifts, all that kind of thing. So I was looking around for new work, and Sunshine Coast is notoriously difficult. The jobs, there's not very many around. And so it was a natural transition for me to keep on in the words business. And so here I am as an SEO copywriter 6 years later with my own business.
Awesome. What a great transition. I'm sure in the long run you were happy that you did leave that stressfulness and end up working for yourself.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think, it's a really scary step to take. I think it was just little old me. But, looking back, no regrets. In fact, I'm like, I wish I'd done this sooner. Why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, I'm definitely the same in terms of leaving my work to work for myself. I'm like, why did I wait so long? This is great. So, do you want to tell us about your experience re-entering the workplace post-kids and how that experience made you desperate for that flexible, family-friendly career?
Sure. Well, it's not a very positive story, if I'm honest. And unfortunately, it's something that a lot of women go through. So as I mentioned, I had my little one. I went on maternity leave and I looked to re-enter the workplace, and I went to countless interviews, like just interview after interview after interview. And unfortunately, what happened was I had a number of instances where I was quite discriminated against as a new mum, and was put in really uncomfortable and awkward positions. I had one interviewer tell me, "Oh, you're the one with the kid, aren't you?" I had another who I know. I had another ask me how I was going to be able to afford daycare because it's very expensive, and how I was going to juggle mum life and work life. And these are all questions that are completely inappropriate for any interview process. So I was at a real loss, and I kind of felt like I'd lost myself a little bit. And so I just decided I had to take a bit of a leap of faith, really, and try and make something work for myself, where I could create my own boundaries, prioritize my family, and still do something that I love that really made an impact. So that's kind of how it got started. But it set me on a path to, with my direction with the business, to help other women that might be struggling too.
Yeah, that's so great. And just out of curiosity, were those people that were asking you those questions in the interview, was that coming from both sexes, or was that mostly men asking you that, or women as well?
I think that's the most disappointing part, is that it was a mix, and actually it was more women than men asking me these questions. Yeah.
That's really sad, because you'd think they'd be, I guess, understanding, but I guess maybe they're just projecting their own problems when they were mums re-entering the workforce, projecting their problems onto you, which is a shame.
Yeah, it was tricky.
Yeah. So speaking of that, how do you want things to be different for women in business?
Look, I think that, there are shifts happening. We are seeing more and more, organizations supporting women in business, a lot of more resources, and there's this sort of a shift in attitude, but quite frankly, it's just not enough yet. We're not there yet. So this that was happening with me was 6 years ago. It's not a lifetime ago. So if I think every woman's got a story, right? Every woman's got some kind of story that they've been through where they felt like they weren't seen, they weren't heard, or they were judged because they're a woman, a mother, or whatever. So I think, I I think we're on the right path. I think it just needs a little bit more ammo behind it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think the really important takeaway for me is just women supporting women as well. We can do incredible things when we band together as a group and as a as a force.
Yeah, no, definitely. So tell us more about your business and what you're doing is different to what else is out there.
Yeah, I guess, look, if really honestly, there are lots and lots of really amazing copywriters out there.
Yeah.
I do what I do really well. I really care about what I do. I think it's less about what I do differently, more about how I do it differently.
Yeah.
I really care about the people I work with, and a big part of like my development has been around discovering who my dream clients, who my people are. And so a big part of what I do is helping my clients discover that for themselves as well. Because when you know who you're speaking to, you know who your people are, you can create messaging and content that actually really speaks to them, connects, and will help both of you grow.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's great. And you're right. I like that. It's how you do it. That's different. That's really cool. And how have you overcome imposter syndrome?
I feel like that's a work in progress, to be honest. I think I still get imposter I still get
Syndrome.
like syndrome. Yeah, sorry, it's very early. I still get imposter syndrome all the time. And I think for me, it's just about, I've learned to look inward a bit more, to kind of stop and go, we're always going to get these feelings of comparisonitis and imposter syndrome, but it's recognizing when those feelings come up and trying to think like, why am I experiencing this? Okay, I feel like I can't do this. Well, why do I feel like that? And what can I do to shift that belief? Rather than feeling the overwhelm of imposter syndrome, it's allowing it to pass through and kind of recognizing triggers for me. So I know I'm always going to get that. I'm really a competitive person. I'm a really motivated person, like lots of women in business. So I do get that. Oh, look, I can't ever be as good as them, or I could never do that. But I think it's about stopping, looking inward, and just recognizing what it is in yourself that's holding you back.
Yeah, no, that's a great way of looking at it. And so, like you said, you changed your career because the family is important to you. Yet you had to go through 2 years of therapy before you could feel ready to have kids. So tell us a little bit about that and how.
Yeah, so that's a big one, actually. It was triggered by it. So to take you back a little bit, when I was very young, I had a trauma, like in a hospital environment.
Oh, wow.
And what that did is that triggered a phobia, but it was more than a phobia. It was it developed into a disorder where I had this like crippling anxiety that I couldn't go to certain situations. I like restricted myself socially. I couldn't go to the movies, Bronte. Like, honestly, I couldn't, because I couldn't go and sit in the movies because I just felt just the people around me. I've had numerous panic attacks where I've ended up unconscious on the carpet. And
oh, wow.
So look, for me, it was a really debilitating thing. I think it's something, I had an extreme level of it and whatever, but I think so many women experience anxiety. And so look, for me, I had to take action because it was really holding me back in so many ways of life. And when I spoke to specialists about it, they told me that with something like this, it's so overwhelming. You have to find something you want more in life that's bigger than your fear, so that when times get really challenging, you can hold on to the thing that you really, really want and need. And for me, it was having children. So this is before I had kids. And so I knew I wanted to have kids, and I couldn't do it unless I moved forward with this. So I had 2 years of weekly psychology appointments where we went through a really huge desensitization process. And Look, I have 2 babies now. It would not have been possible without the help and support of this amazing health professional, and I should note that I went to see many, many, many health professionals before I met the right person who could help me or even had that drive to help me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have 2 children, and that's not to say I still don't experience anxiety. I think, it sits there. I just have the tools now to manage it. A lot of it is breath work.
Yeah.
So I found that to be really, really powerful. But I can manage it now, but it's still always there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being vulnerable enough to share that with us, because I know that can be a lot to share, but I think that's so powerful that, like you said, you did go through lots of therapists, because I think I know of people that have gone to like one therapist and it didn't work for them. They're like, well, it doesn't work. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that, it's just finding the right person. And that comes with everything. I mean, even like your copywriting, or me with the coaching, it's like, just because the first copywriter or coach you come across isn't the one for you doesn't mean that there isn't someone else out there that is right for you. But I just can't even imagine not being able to go to, movies or things, because it's that debilitating. But I love that whole focusing on something bigger than the fear.
Yep.
That, focusing on the love, something that you love that's bigger than the fear, to help you move through. I think that's a powerful tool that everyone can take with them and apply. So thanks so much for sharing about your story and what you do. So now we're going to move into the questions I ask everyone about confidence and how you've built confidence. I'm sure the therapy helped with that, and how you help others. So what does confidence mean to you?
Look, I think that confidence is a journey. I don't think that confidence just comes. I think we learn from our experiences, we practice things, and with time, with practice, with experience, we build our confidence. And that's something that I've had to really teach myself and remind myself over the years, because we're kind of in this society where we're just like, you've just got to show up, you've got to fake it till you make it, you've just got to like be there, happy, all the things. And I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. I have to come from an authentic perspective. And while I do believe that there's something to be said for, showing up and turning up and that kind of thing, I think we also have to listen to ourselves. So, confidence it's not a button that you can just press and it's there. I think it's time, it's experience, it's practice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's so true. I like to see it as like a muscle. You go to the gym to work out, your physical muscles, and then it's like working out your mental muscle helps build your confidence and things. And you're right, there's no end point. It's something you can grow and learn from. And so many people think that people are just born with it. And that's how I kind of got into the confidence space and coaching, is that people always said to me, you're so confident. Like people just thought I was born confident, but it's just something I choose to work on every single day. So you're so right in that it can be grown over time. And I mean, look at you here today, like I'm guessing 5 years ago you wouldn't have been able to just get on a camera and share with the world.
Oh no, I would have been in the fetal position in the corner over there, Yeah, for sure. And it's something you learn. It's just something you develop. And you're right, it's a muscle. It's something that we just have to work on day by day by day.
Yeah. And I think, it's great. You're like a classic example that anyone can learn to build confidence, which is why we're here sharing with everyone, so that they can learn and, grow their confident muscles too. So how do you help people build their confidence? Whether that's your work or...
I think I touched on it a little bit before. I think a lot of confidence comes when you surround yourself with the right people, the right crowd, and that applies with work as well. And you're going to be your best self when you're with like-minded people that that get you, that have the same values as you. And that's a big part of what I do. It's a big part of what I've done for myself, is really understanding who my people are, who are my dream clients. And again, like, this is how I help clients. We look to really get clear on, like, it's not just like, oh, I work with, my avatar is Sue and she's 30 years old and lives in, wherever. It's deeper than that. It's like,
Yeah.
what do these people believe in? Where, what's their energy like? Who are the people that I can best serve as well? Because, at the end of the day, it's a two-way thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for me, I love helping clients to create amazing content and messages, but to the right people, and really getting clear on that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you're right, aligning yourself with people with the same values. I'm sure you'd find it hard to do copywriting for people that don't share the same, say, ethics or values with you, that believe in something that you're like, whoa, I'm very not into that. It would make it hard,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it's topic level, but it's also,
Yeah.
like I say, it's an energy thing as well.
Yeah.
When you jump on a call with someone, you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is not going to be fun. Like the next 6 weeks on this project or whatever, you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
can just feel like this is not right. And so often we just, in business, especially when we're just starting up, we're like, well, I need clients. I'm just going to push past.
Yeah.
I'm just going to deal with it. And then you just have instant regret because you're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
awful. So it's about, on the flip side, when you meet a client, you talk to them and you're like, oh, this is happening. Like, this is
Yeah.
just going to flow. They're going to
Yeah.
completely love what I do. I know that I respect them. They respect me. We're going to create amazing things together. And it's about tapping more into that kind of client or customer than the other. So it's less a kind of about the topic thing, but more about energy, I think.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with the energy. I can totally relate. And there's been clients where when I started coaching, I jump on a call with them and they said no or whatever, and you're like, oh damn. But when you think about it, it's like our energy was not aligned. I'm like, actually, did I want to spend 6 months working with this person?
Exactly.
Probably not. Like, it would have just been, I needed the money, but it would have been a total drag. And in the long run, it's like, actually, no, we weren't a match. So that is totally fine. So
the problem is as well is that when you end up giving your time to people that aren't your people or aren't the right fit or aren't aligned with you, you then close off opportunity for someone else that might have been coming in that would have been amazing. So, I think it's understanding that we don't have to say yes to everything and everyone, and really knowing our happy place.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And what would you say to someone who's wanting to build their confidence, but they don't quite know where to start?
Yeah, look, I think we touched on this before. I think it's just showing kindness to yourself is the first thing. Don't just be like, don't give yourself a hard time if you come on a Zoom or you come on, you have a meeting or whatever it is that you don't feel confident in and you do it and you don't think you've done it as well as someone else would. Don't give yourself a hard time. Just know you've taken that step. And then you learn from that. And the next time you'll do it a little differently, or, you'll come on with just that little bit more confidence because you know what to expect. So I think kindness is huge. So I think just anyone that's looking to build their confidence, just remember to be kind to yourself and give yourself time and space to learn and evolve. We're just human.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's definitely a great place to start. And what's something you know now that you wish you knew when you were younger?
Oh, 100% that I do not need to be everything to everyone. Like I say, I had some of those stinky clients at the beginning. I tell you what, I had all sorts of oddballs that would, not understand even what I offered. I was just saying yes to everyone because I thought that's what I had to do. So I think it's really knowing where your value lies, knowing who your people are. And if I knew that at the beginning, but everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
It does. And you had to go through that to learn what you do want to align with. So it's all a learning process.
Yeah.
And what's the best advice you've been given or your favorite quote to live by?
My grandfather used to say to me, that life is not a rehearsal. And I think that's quite, I mean, there's a common quote,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
he used to say it to me, so it really sits. He used to say, life is not a rehearsal. You're on the main stage now.
Yes.
And I think it's about realizing the moments, recognizing the moments, and being still in moments sometimes, and just appreciating what's happening right now, because what's happening right now is your life, and you won't have that moment again. So it's just like taking time to be mindful and experience what's happening around you instead of always looking to what's coming or what's next.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I love that. That's such a simple quote that we've all heard, but I think don't really maybe take notice of or apply. But you're right, you can't just, we won't have this time again, like it's get it right the first time, or do your best the first time, because you are on the main stage. And of
Or
course we
even
won't
just
always get it right. But
just being present. I think, we're so often we're like look forward to something happening, and then that moment
yes.
arrives and we're looking to the next thing. We don't even
Yeah.
appreciate what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that I'm sure that quote could have all different meanings to different people, but that's kind of what it represents to me, is just taking a breath and realizing what's happening right now and being a bit more present.
Yeah. And I'm sure all those breathwork techniques you learned help you do that.
Oh, yes.
And what's your favorite book or podcast that's helped you grow your confidence or personal development?
Yeah, the most recently I listened to the audiobook of Rise Sister Rise. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
No, I haven't.
It's by Rebecca Campbell, I think. Yeah, Rebecca Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just basically a call to arms to women to speak their truth. And that's huge for me, because so often in life, like, I don't speak up. Even looking back to those stories of like my interview process, I look back now and I'm like, I should have said this, or I should have done that, and that wasn't right. And so I found that book really powerful for that. It's very much a female empowerment book, and just a really nice book to listen to or read to.
Yeah. No, that's great. I might have to go check that one out. And do you have any favorite people to follow online that, motivate you in your newsfeed?
Well, I like and listen and follow to a hugely diverse range of different people. In terms of personal development, I'm in a group with a lady named Kate Toon. She's a digital marketer here in Australia, and she's also an SEO copywriter and does all kinds of different stuff. But I found great power in her community, so I spend a lot of time in her groups and follow a lot of her stuff, because, as you'd probably be aware, the world of digital marketing is ever changing. Like every day something new's happening. So for me, it's a really great way to keep my finger on the pulse and have that community online.
Yep, no, that's great. And where can people find you and connect with you online?
Oh, I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook less than I am on Instagram. You'll also find me on LinkedIn. You'll find me. We've just launched YouTube, so there's a bit going on there. And then, of course, my website, if you just feel like having a bit of a snoop and seeing what else I get up to. And I can give all of those details for you to share.
Yeah, I'll put them in. I've got them. I'll put them in the show notes. But do people just type in Dom Kimber, or is it Social Swell? What's the
Either
best way to find
I should come up. Yeah. But my website is www.socialswell.com.au.
Great. That's easy for everyone. And do you have any final words or anything else you wanted to share before we go?
No, I think just for me, I really want to, for me, the message here is just that we need to be kind to ourselves. And if you can go into your day and take that away with you, that's perfect. Also, if you need any help with any of that kind of stuff, whether it be, your content creation, finding your dream clients, or any of that good digital stuff, then I am here to help.
Yes, you are. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I think everyone can take away that such a simple, easy message of being kind to yourself. It's so true. I think we can sometimes overcomplicate things when it's the simple things that, make the biggest difference. So thanks for sharing that. And thanks to everyone who's been tuning in. I've seen we've had a few people jump on and off. And so thanks everyone who watched live or watched the replay. And we will see you all next week. See you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.